afternoon. Yeah, that you knew. Harris is drinking, and yes, I'm thinking, and I'm plotting and scheming. Harry's drinking again. Yo. Back up in the building for another edition of the Harry's Drinking Again Pubcast. I'm your host, Harry Too Scary, aka Harris. And tonight we got a dope edition for you. We're talking to a life coach, a motivational speaker, a therapist. It's going to get interesting tonight. Oh, yes. On the 86th edition of Thursday Therapy Night Rants, this is going to be a great one because we got somebody that works in the field of therapy and helping people out and shit like that. And if you've been rocking with me for some time, then you know that's what we do over here on this platform as well. One of my fallbacks is, the addiction and the sort of mental health sort of stuff that we do over here. So I'm real excited to get this individual on. She goes by Tone Motivates, Tanya Franklin. You can check her out on tonemotivates.com. And she's already in the green room and awaiting. And thank y'all for joining here. Real quickly, again, officially sponsored by Gubba Rum. Visit gubbarum.com today to find out where you can purchase your bottle. And they have a Gubba Rum Silver, which is their coconut-infused rum. Beats Malibu, kicks Malibu's ass because it got real bits of coconut in the bottom. It's really infused. And then we got the Gubba Gold. Vanilla rum, natural infused vanilla. When it sits in maybe room temp or a little colder, it kind of hardens up. You can see that real natural vanilla in there. So shout out to Gubba Rum, man. And I got me a little Corona, just because I was craving the Corona. And I also got some pomegranate juice on ice, huh? I love you, Gubba Rum, but I wanted to drink a little Terramana tequila tonight, too, okay? I know. But I plugged the shit out of Gubba Rum, and it's the best rum you could drink. And I wanted to try this rock bullshit. Not too bad. I throw it in there with El Jimador and Hornitos, all the rest of them. Really good stuff, man. You can also catch the show up on WDJYFM.com. That is the latest platform to host the Pubcast. Thank you to them. Every Saturday night, same time, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. WDJYFM.com. Saturday and Sunday, 2 time slots. We got a new episode premiering this weekend over there. So we just trying to get around, just trying to get around like Pac and shit. Speaking of Pac, it was the anniversary of his death. Yesterday. Rest in peace to the greatest, the revolutionary. And Mr. Machiavelli himself, okay? Now, we're going to bring on Tanya Franklin here real quickly. We just got a couple of words from our past guests here.
Hey, man, this is Tommy Chung, and you're listening and watching Harris is Drinking Again. Sounds like a ghetto movie.
What's cracking, y'all? It's Lil Kelpie from the 1503, a.k.a. Kelpie to P, a.k.a. call me whatever you want, just don't call me broke. And I'm fucking with the Harris is Drinking Again podcast, one of the first podcasts or platforms to put me on. Y'all better stay following them, watching them. Stay tuned for more shit. Big things happening in the future.
Harry's drinking again. Yes, I am. All right. So let's go ahead and do it. We got a couple people up here in the building. Shout out to Podbean as well, over there on Podbean. And go type in the Haida Pub on Spotify. Check us out there. We got about 14 episodes for your ear pleasure. So without further ado, let me bring on the guest of the evening. It's actually been a couple weeks since we've had an official guest up in here in the Haida Pub. I miss making the thumbnails and talking to people like an experienced pubcaster. So I got a website pulled up here. Again, I'm just really excited. She's going to break it all down, tell us how she got into this field. We're going to get to know this woman very well. So coming to the stage, we have a life coach, clinical behavior therapist, and a motivational speaker, amongst many more things. Welcome, Tone Motivates, aka Tanya Franklin in the house.
We up now, yes.
That's the that's a little stripper music, little coming to the stage.
I feel like I should have been running down a aisle or something.
All right. So, Mrs. Franklin, Tanya Franklin, welcome to the Harris is Drinking Again Pubcast.
Thank you.
The Haida Pub, throughout the stream, I'll be changing the backdrop here and there. I'm trying to get this like official, how do I say it, like a bar look, kind of pub theme going on. I'm working with limited pictures here, but either way, thanks for joining us. Right off the bat, see you're a beautiful black woman. Shout out. How you doing, Queen? Now we were talking just a minute ago. We've only had a few, conversations over on Beeline's channel. Shout out to Beeline Entertainment on one of his Sunday shows, and I was like, I like the conversation. And then we were in the podcast group, of course, and so I was like, man, we do some networking and try to get another guest on. What caught me about you, I think you told me you were a behavioral therapist, even, but based on your posts, I just could see that you're in that realm, that positive kind of societal kind of lane, whatever you want to call it. But go ahead and just tell the people off the bat, who you are, a little bit just of your history, and then we'll kind of go from there and get into your work and a little bit of personal stuff. And
okay, cool. Well, hello, everyone. I am Tone Motivates. I am a cognitive behavior therapist, wellness coach, voiceover artist, writer, podcaster, basically anything in the realm of being motivated. That is what I'm here to do. I live by the motto of motivating one person a day and just simply being the person that I needed at one point. So I'm the oldest of 4 girls. My mother was a single mom, and just with being the oldest, I always had to, just fend for them, support them. I was like that mother figure. But it wasn't only with my sisters, it was with everyone around me. So my friends, family, all of that stuff. So I always been like kind of like a supporter or like a delirious optimist. Like my friends always call me for the but. Like, oh, this happened. And it's like, all right, I'll be the devil's advocate. So around 2016, 2017, I bumped into an old friend that I had grew up with. Shout out to Tori and Deed on Vibe the Vibe TV. And I really noticed that I had got away from writing and stuff like that. I had dealt with a couple up and coming record labels as a teen, fresh out of high school. And then when I had my son at 21, it was like, all right, can't do this hobby anymore, get back to work. And I felt like a piece of me was missing. So with bumping back into my childhood friend, I'm like, you know what? All of this stuff was just coming back. It was really nostalgic. It felt really comfortable. So I decided to just hop back into it. So I became a life coach. And I started teaching clients. One of my first clients was a Black male that had anger management issues. And that would just blew me away. Just a Black man being able to be vulnerable and saying, hey, taking accountability, I need help. So ever since then, I've went on to be a cognitive behavior therapist and all that stuff, just literally living out my dream. But in 2019, I did get my bachelor's degree in healthcare administration. I was working for 10 years in the dialysis field. And this past August, I jumped out the window and said, I'm going to go full-fledged for Tone Motivates. If I could do it part-time and work for someone else full-time, why not hop out there and see what I could do for myself? So I'm literally here to motivate adults, motivate kids. Kids don't like school right now, so I'm doing classes on that just to work through our feelings and emotions. And just in general, a lot of us don't process that, right? So we have these built up feelings and emotions. We're thinking we're suppressing them. It's going to go away. And we start to act out of those suppressed feelings and emotions. And that's trauma. We have soft trauma, we have hard trauma. So my whole thing is just helping people be accountable, specifically letting boys or men or, whoever identifies as males know that everybody has a balance of feminine energy and masculine energy, and that it's okay if boys cry. It's okay if guys are upset, or if today's not their day. They should all of us in general should have a safe space where we could be vulnerable with someone, just vent or have a sounding board so that we can process those feelings and emotions so it doesn't become trauma.
Yeah. Okay. Now, back up to the sibling part. You have 4 sisters?
Yes. So on my mom's side, it's 4 of us. I'm the oldest. And on my dad's side, I'm also the oldest of 2 girls and a boy. So on both sides, it's 4 of us.
So that whole older sibling, the leader kind of thing just came natural. You've already been through it. You were taking care of your siblings and probably telling them like, come on, let's go, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm so proud of all of them. They might not, they see I stumble and fall. I'm human, but when it comes to my business, they know work hard for what you want and don't let nobody tell you no. So shout out to my siblings. I'm so proud of y'all and all that y'all doing. Keep going.
So would you say that mostly you were born kind of positive, in a way, or did something maybe did you see yourself maybe look in the mirror one day and be like, whoa, I could turn into this lazy individual if I don't correct myself? Like, how did that kind of come about?
Well, I was a church girl. I grew up in the church. I went to school in the church. My grandmama cleaned the church, and she was really a big pillar for me. I went through rough things as a child, and even though I had a big family, I always kind of felt alone or like different. So even though I was able to give all of these things to everyone around me, I didn't really feel like it was reciprocated, or like it was just something that was always missing. And my grandmother always consistently just instilled in me that God will perfect that which concerns me. So it doesn't mean my God, it's your God, your faith, whatever it is that you believe in, but you have to have that faith that all things happen for a reason and that he will pull you out of that. So with just my grandmother building me up like that, I in turn helped build my sisters up like that. And I developed just an optimistic attitude, period. I'm also a Libra, so we're all about balance. But I just was always optimistic, you know what I mean? Just because I might have grew up on, food stamps or public housing and stuff like that didn't mean that I had to go on and have kids and experience the same thing. And I am proud, no, not knocking anybody, but I am proud to know that I immediately broke those generational curses just with being conscious and knowing what I wanted. So I didn't always know that it would be coaching that I was doing, but with taking coaching classes and getting certified, it was all the same thing. I was just learning statistics instead of just going off of, what I learned through experience. And I always tell my clients, I'm simply your tour guide. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still trying to figure it out on my own, but I'm here to help you avoid a speed bump if I just hit that speed bump a couple of steps ahead of you.
Okay. Now, that's why I'm so excited to have you on. I assume, like you spoke about a black man with anger issues, common stuff that we deal with in the community. Do you deal also with, just substance abuse, people who have been abused in their past, right? Anything negative is your lane, so to speak, right?
Yeah, because a lot of people think with you motivating that you're always consistently positive. And that's not the case. It's me accepting when I'm not so positive or when I'm not so motivated and just pouring into myself and giving myself that self-care and that self-love. Regardless of what your ailments or conditions or vices might be, a lot of us treat others better than we would treat ourselves. And when we realized that if we were nicer to ourselves, gentler to ourselves, had more compassion, on ourselves, that a lot of times it would help us get out of those ruts or situations that we're going through with that. But to answer what you were saying, I deal with wellness coaching, any kind of like substance abuse. I haven't really gotten that deep into it, but in the New Jersey area, I'm literally like all over the state. I travel different places wherever I might be needed. And there's a wellness center in Hackensack that I deal with. And, some of the clients there, they do have substance abuse issues. And, a lot of people think that just throwing medicine at a person is going to help, but if I'm clinically depressed and you throw me this medication, but I never opened it up because it's still sitting in my medicine cabinet, what is that going to do? If I do take that medicine, but still don't know how to get out the bed and get dressed and go to that interview, how am I going to provide for my family? You know what I mean? So a lot of, not even a lot of, but the healthcare industry doesn't understand that if we worked more on cognitive behavior and the way people thought, that it would be in addition to medication. In some instances, it would take place of said medication as well.
Right. I grew up on medication. I'm one of those kids who was medicated from like 6 to 18. I was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. I still have it a little bit, a lot of tics, but it was worse when I was a kid, and ADHD and stuff. So when I was 18, I had a epiphany, if you will. I got off all medication. I quit drinking soda. I did a brain detox. I didn't listen to no rap music or nothing for 30 days. It was really cool. It actually helped me. But I'm a believer in Eastern philosophies, or just, like whatever there's a pill for. Some medication's good, but tea, yoga, right? There was a year in my life where I started juicing, but then I found out about blending, and I did this whole blending thing for like a year. It was the best I ever felt and looked. I don't know why I can't get back there, because I drink more of this these days. So if I was let's say I'm a client, or if I call you up or send you an email, hey Tone, hey, my name's Harris, I'm 36 years old, this is what's going on in my life. Kind of walk us through, like, maybe like what sort of intake do you do, or what sort of like questions would you gather from me, and then do you make these people a personal chart or graph that they have to follow? Like, kind of break down that process a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on if they have like group sessions or personal sessions. But before anything, we have a vision call. And with that vision call, it's just literally me getting to know you. So I want to know if you're happy. A lot of the times, that's why people come. Something's not right. They want to change something, right? So what do you want to change? How do you think that we can get there? What's preventing you from getting there? What things might have happened in your past to make you perceive yourself this way, or make you believe that you can't accomplish what you're going to accomplish? So literally, it is not brain work. It's literally asking yourself questions that we typically ask ourselves anyway, but it's just that little tiny voice that we don't give much attention to. You know what I mean? So it's literally just being conscious of what it is that you might want. And even if you don't know what you want, it's being accountable and conscious of, I'm not sure. I just know something's off and I want something to change. So for instance, journaling, that is a huge thing for me. Like I'm definitely a writer, but I encourage anybody that I talk to, I don't care if you're 9, I encourage you to just write. If that ends up being doodling, or, saying I'm angry, I'm mad, I can't stand my mom, or whatever the case may be, like I really feel like it's the outlet of the soul. Because when you're talking, it's like, okay, well, it's just me. Do I talk out loud still? Do I talk in my head? But when you're writing, it's almost always silent. You could do it on a bus, you could do it in the bathroom, wherever. And I noticed with writing, no matter what it was, whether it was just about my day, I'm about to take a flight because I used to travel for work, whatever the case may be, I'll go back a year and I'll look at September 14th, if I happen to write in my journal at that time, and I can literally see my life changing, or things that I aspire to be or want, or that I wanted to change with myself, and to see where I'm at now, like that's all the proof that I need. So a lot of people think that it's so expensive to have therapy and this, like that, this and that. And in my culture, whatever happened in your home stayed in your home. That was it. That was all. And that's the main thing. Like sometimes nobody in my house is who I feel comfortable with talking to. And a lot of times we need a stranger or somebody that we don't know because there's no bias. I don't know what to base it off of. If you want to literally come to a session and lie to me about your life, then, that speaks volumes for you. But a lot of the times these people have been crying out to people around them for a while now, and they don't listen. And, I know people that's committed suicide. I graduated in 2003. A bunch of my friends have died over different things. Life is truly short, and people think that with money everything will be solved, and I'm okay with living paycheck to paycheck as long as I have my peace. And as long as you know that, like, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, but it's not the end of the world, and that you can get out of the rut. That's all that matters, and that's the main thing. A lot of people get stuck in places and automatically assume there's no way to get out. They focus on the problem instead of focusing on the solution. And with me, it's all about the solutions. We could cry today, but wrap that shit up, and tomorrow, we're going to dust ourselves off and we're going to try again. If we fall again, the whole point is, what's that song? Knock me down 9 times, I get up 10 or whatever. It's consistently knowing you have to roll with the punches sometime. Take a break when you need to, but you got to do what you got to do if you want to get the results that you want.
Since you've started your career on this path, would you say that the majority of people are just suffering from like some form of depression these days, like in general, like this lethargic haze over their brain where it's just like they can't function or they don't know what to do next? Or what are people, what is the assessment?
It's a mixture of all of these things. I'm an 80s baby. You know what I mean? So it's all kind of diseases out now that weren't out, that we didn't have to get vaccines for, and all this extra stuff. So, depression was talked about in the 80s and 90s, but we didn't really hear about anxiety. We didn't really hear about any of these things. But I think that it's something that is prevalent now because of the environment that we're in. And a lot of people think that the outside world is going to save them, or in some way that they have to fit into that world, when we're supposed to be here the way that we are, in our most authentic selves. You know what I mean? So I'm here. I'm not at 100% again, but me being here as a human, my goal is to get to that 100%, is to get to that ascension and all that stuff. And people just think they're supposed to just stay wherever they at. I don't want to be the same person September 14th the next year. I don't want to be the same person in a couple months. If you ask me, it's all about growth and taking what you've learned to just make a better life out of it. But I realized that perception, some people get so stuck, like I'm blind without my glasses, right? So if I take these glasses off, my perception is completely different because I can barely see anything. Like I can see the silhouette of you, but I can't see the details of your face. And some people literally walk around, like you were saying, like with that type of fog, because they're too arrogant to go put the glasses on or to do the work to figure out why they have that fog or that haze over them, or why they feel stuck and cloudy and all of that stuff. So a lot of the times it's us and clearing out our bullshit, limiting distractions, putting boundaries up, having discernment. Just because that's my mama don't mean that she's the most non-toxic person, or or my sister or whoever. You know what I mean? You can still love them from afar, support them how you may, but that doesn't mean that they should necessarily be in your circle, draining you all the time. So the main thing is distractions a lot of time. If people spent more time with themselves and focused on themselves and listened to themselves, I feel as though a lot of those things like anxiety and depression, it wouldn't be as popular, I would say, as it is now.
That's a great point you make. Me and one of my co-hosts from time to time, Brother Ray, he's a real positive guy, real spiritual guy, and we always kind of talk about that. Like, I guess because I grew up with suicidal thoughts, on medication, I'd have withdrawals. There was therapists involved, counselors, a little boot camp, I'll set fires, all that regular shit. And but I have such a disdain now as an adult, and sometimes I have some friends, maybe in family, that in the last few years they kind of, to me, it seems like they kind of almost took a step back mentally, like with breakdowns or anxiety. I've had it before. But one thing about myself is I found because I'm an introvert naturally. This is my time to be loud and just, whatever. But I'm like usually like I'm that guy like like Tanya, who the fuck did you?
Really? I would have thought that. I would have thought like he was an extrovert or maybe an omnivert because I say I'm an omnivert, but
Is that a
I would have
mixture?
thought you was an extrovert. Yes, that's a mixture. So I like when I want to go out, we're gonna go out. We're gonna have the time of our lives. But when I'm like, I'm ready to go, or nah, I'm not coming out, I could literally just silence all day. I don't even need the TV. Give me YouTube, and I'm good to go. I have to recharge on my own sometimes, but most of the time I'm a social butterfly, so I throw my friends off when I don't want to be bothered. But I just get lost, and typically they don't notice until I'm ready to come back out.
See, my walls are up so thick. Like I always say this, like I always speak if spoken to, and then when I enter a room, it's a nod or depending on how many people. Hey, how you doing? What's up? I greet myself, but I'm usually the quietest one in the room, and that's just because I process a lot, and I'm a thinker, but I've always listened before I spoke, and but a lot of that I guess goes back to when I was younger, when I would get anxiety, like real anxiety. I don't know. As a 36, I just turned 36. Libra, you're coming up in October, is that right?
Yeah.
Late September. So happy birthday to you. But I don't feel like I can go back there, right? Because especially because a lot of my stuff was like drug induced, right? I'd get drug schizophrenia when I'd come down off meth and coke, but I started to like, okay, I would realize that though, like, okay, this is not really me. This is the effect of the drugs. I should probably slow the fuck down. I'm starting to see shapeshifters and shadows, and hearing voices, and I'm constantly looking out the window and stuff. And then that stuff lingers though. Maybe a week after, 2 weeks after, you got to get your equilibrium like back and everything. But yeah, it seems like lately a lot more adults that I've known are, and I don't know if it's because they haven't dealt with it when they were a kid, and then now some stuff comes out when you're an adult. For me, I feel like I dealt with that stuff. Now I'm growing up, I'm maturing. I love hallucinogenics. I had a DMT experience which changed my life completely. And I do, I like my quarterly shroom trip just to like recalibrate myself and center me, right? And I was that guy too when I smoke weed. It doesn't make me this way anymore. I'm completely addicted to it. It doesn't do a damn thing for me. But I used to smoke and get anxiety, right? And people are like, oh, I can't smoke because I freak out. It's like, no, you're supposed to freak out. That little inkling. Because sometimes you'll smoke, and then like I'll get the cleaning or something because maybe I want to smoke, and then I'll start playing a video game. But then I'm looking at all the shit around the TV or something, and I'm like, oh, I'll go fix it, you know, before I can play a video game or whatever it is. That's kind of how I've just interworked my own, like how I deal with it, so to speak. And then, I like to have my, I'm a casual drinker, probably 3 to 5 drinks a week, if not more, sadly. But even with me, I know I can't really slip. Well, I could, but it's very, I guess you just got to be in tune with yourself, and a lot of people aren't, which weirds me out. It really weirds me out. And because that's my quest too. I believe the older we get, the wiser we're supposed to get. And which scares me too sometimes, because I sometimes mentally I feel like I'm 10 years behind. Really, I'm like, damn, I'm almost 40. Like, there's no way. When I was a young man and I would think of a 30 or 40-year-old, they were just bigger back in the day. I don't know. They were just like a 40-year-old man was like a man, like,
right. But that's because we were smaller too. So now, we're adults, and it's like, oh, these uncles are not that big. But it, like with the medication and stuff, that's the self medication, like just how popular it is for people to take prescription drugs that don't belong to them. They're consistently self medicating, hoping that it fills some kind of void, not knowing that it's not filling anything. And I think one of the most passionate reasons why I am a wellness coach and a cognitive behavior therapist is because I have a 16-year-old, he'll be 17 in December, and he was classified at one point. And with being a single mom, like, I have a career, I traveled all over New Jersey, I'll get 100 miles out in New Jersey, and I got 12 people waiting for me there to get trained, and I get a phone call, I got to go pick up my son. You know what I mean? So once he was classified, I'm going to all of these therapy sessions. Like, it was just nonstop. Even I'm doing therapy, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help him. And I mean, everybody has their own situations. His father wasn't around, he was in and out of jail, stuff like that. I don't know what this young man is going through. Like I told you, I grew up around girls, and he broke down on me maybe one time. And that's all I needed to know. Like, all right, with this medication, he's quiet. He's in school. He's staying in school, but this isn't my kid. You know what I mean? He's extra quiet. He's really reserved. Like, he's like hazy in the brain, and I'm like, is it worth it? So this was right around COVID. I think he was just hitting middle school. And once COVID hit, I'm like, we home anyway. So I tossed the medicine out, and thank God since then he's been good. He's a junior in Votech now, so he wants to be a carpenter. So all he needed was somebody to believe in him and know that they couldn't teach him within the box. He's outside of the box, because that's the main thing. Back in the day, we had teachers that was going to sit down with us. They was going to take that extra couple minutes to talk to our parents, give us some extra homework. Like, if our teachers fucked with us, they wasn't just going to sit there and let us he's a good kid, but he need to get it together. Let me help you, and they don't have that these days. And I get it. Like, the teachers are overwhelmed and they're understaffed and all of that stuff. But I did realize that they classify the boys more than the girls, so it's a bunch of girls that I know that I swear I have ADHD. A couple of my girlfriends do too. I even know a couple of adult women that I work with that, take medication for it. Like, but typically as females, because we're emotional, we're going through all this and all that, they just sum it up to that. Whereas with the guys, since you're not supposed to be emotional, and they just automatically assume something's wrong with you because you tick a little differently, and they don't understand that people learn differently. Like, I'm very well spoken. I love to research. I read every book. I love to write, all of that stuff. But grammar, or if you sit here like X times Y minus 3, you're going to lose me. You know what I mean? I just learn differently. And I'm going to ask you 100 times, but that 101st time, once I get it, we're good, then okay. You know what I mean? But they don't have the time. They don't have the patience and none of that. And in addition to that, a lot of parents think that their child going to school and them learning there is all that they need. If you think that, then your child's not learning nothing. Because how many things did you learn in school that you actually doing right now? Because I can name on maybe one hand how many things that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So just helping kids navigate. That's my main thing. Helping kids navigate, knowing to go through those feelings and emotions now. Once they're out of high school and they're able to process that stuff and they understand what it is, instead of, oh, you're a kid, you don't have any feelings, go to your room, all that stuff. How much would toxicity decrease? You know what I mean? How old? I can't tell you how old I was when I noticed that I was toxic. You know what I mean? Or that I did toxic things, or that I wasn't doing things right, or out of spite from this or that. And what if I knew that when I was 22, 23 years old? You know what I mean? You would have things would have happened a lot differently if that was the case. So my main thing is getting a hold of these kids and letting them know, to be a leader, don't be a follower. It doesn't matter how you might be different. All of us are different for a reason. It doesn't make you less of a person or less unworthy. To me, I look at it as superpower. I love to be called weirdo, unicorn, quirky, boisterous, kooky, whatever the case may be. Those are all positive connotations to me. There's nothing negative about that. I'm a geek, yeah. And you know what I mean? Like, I like to read in my spare time. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to be different. And I think in a society where everybody is trying to fit in, it's up to me and other people like me to pull those people out of those crowds that are like me, and that are meant to be leaders, because there's so many people following nowadays, so many sheets. We're literally just following each other off a blind damn cliff. And if I have anything to do with it, I'm going to take as many people and guide them the right way as I can.
That's a great point. I have a son, 8-year-old, and a daughter as well, 15. That's some different shit. But I always tell my son, I'm like, and just for clarification, she's my daughter, but I'm a step role, so that's a whole nother.
Look, that don't make them no thicker. My step parents mean the world to me. They've been there for me in ways that my real parents couldn't be there for me. So salute to you.
and that's what I know when she's an adult, she'll look back the way I looked at my stepmom. I love her now. She's amazing. And I see the influence, but back then I was like, fuck, I was a handful. Like I hated her, because she was trying to, put positive shit in my life. And, but for my son, not having a dad as well, I was adopted, as a little baby. And, so I don't know my blood, side. And, I've met a couple of, siblings like later, years later when I was 20 and stuff. Met a couple of my half brothers and sisters, but never met my biological blood. And a lot of people say, like if you were abused, you're gonna abuse your kid, or if were beaten, and you're more likely to beat your kid. And that may be true. I guess some men, it depends how they deal with it, but maybe I guess there was pain there, like just the feeling that I wanted, and then seeing my son born, I was like, yo, like I'm so committed to him, just through and through. Like it's even the ups and downs me and his mother go through, we're still together. I'll never get married. I'm anti-marriage guy, so fuck all that. But like
marriage atheist.
Yeah, we're like together, and so I just don't want to get married on paper, under the government in America. Shit. But my duty is just that, is to be there for him, of course, lifelong. But I say 0 to 18 just because that's my legal duty. And it's like, well, 18, you're a man. Like my job is to give you these skills, give you these little tidbits, and then stuff that I wish I would have had, especially for a boy, that puberty age, like 11 to 14, 14 to 17. Just really being there, giving them that knowledge. Because I know when I was younger, I was just one hand on the shoulder away from I would have been a very good soldier when I was younger. Basically, like you tell me what to do, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I still take direction pretty good. Just lay out the guideline and I'll get it done. And I think that's very important for boys, man. Black and Mexican boys, specifically. Let's keep it real. Minority children, for their fathers to be there. But growing up, with those wonderings, I never wanted my son to wonder. I'll take the bullshit. We argue and stuff here and there, me and his mom, and but we, at the end of the day, like I just came from his football game. He did amazing. He's out there. He got some tackles. Just like. And I'm looking around, there's a few other fathers, but I'm just like, yo, like these moments right here is worth all the whatever, when I want to say fuck it all, and it seems like dads in the 90s were more ruthless. Like all the men, the baby boomer men from our generation, it just seemed like, and my adopted pops, for instance, like when they split, he moved like 8 hours away, like and had other buddies that they're like dads would just dip with, and it seems like no conscience. I could never carry that on my conscience,
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, and just as much as the number one, salute to you. You're doing a great job, and a lot of people don't understand that sometimes, you chose that you weren't going to be like your biological dad. You know what I mean? You chose the type of father that you were going to be. And unfortunately, let's say I'm a guy and I went through the same exact situation as you. I could have looked at it like, oh, I ain't shit. I ain't going to be shit. You know what I mean? I don't want no kids because I'm just going to be just like my dad, and all that stuff. So if you don't have the mind frame, and I guess in some way it's instilled in you, but if you don't have that mind frame to know, like, okay, well, these are the cards that I was dealt, but it's up to me how I play them, and not just look at it like, all right, well, I don't deserve anything better. My offspring doesn't deserve anything better. That's where the big disconnect is. And just like our boys need their fathers, so do our girls. I had to be maybe 30 years old before I even understood that I had abandonment issues and daddy issues, and that I literally dated someone like my dad at one point, and just all of the things that I thought I didn't want. I'm thinking I'm pacifying, and I'm meeting someone new, and no, none of that was it. But until I started working on myself, I wasn't able to realize that the caliber of men that I would meet would change as well. And a lot of times it's just guidance. Like, yes, I had an uncle, my stepdad was there for me. I had a few, like two. They were really there for me. They really, they meant a lot to me even to this day. But besides that, it wasn't really nobody that I felt like I could call my own. You know what I mean? So I was toxic at a point. I'm clingy. I'm letting guys do whatever the hell they want. Like, I've always been a boss, whether it's just working or not. I've always had my own, but I would specifically deal with guys that didn't have nothing. Because if you don't have nothing, then that I'm dealing with you for you, right? Now, as a damn 30, about to be 38 next month, I'm like, shit, I need somebody that got what I want. I got to be careful about saying, oh, I have my own place, I have a degree, I have this, I have that. Because just like it's women out there trying to trap men, it's men out there trying to trap women. But I simply decided that with being a mom, and then a boy mom at that, my son is 6 feet tall. He wears a size 14 shoe. He is an anime buff. Like, he wears the cloaks and all of that. You know what I mean? So automatically when people see him, it's, oh, what sport do you play? And it's like, just because he's a tall black kid doesn't mean that he plays sports. Like, he did play soccer at one point, stuff like that. If anything, it would be track, but he's in carpentry. You know what I mean? And he's into games and anime stuff. He chills with his friends. He has a little girlfriend. Like, he has a life. He works, all that stuff. Why does he have to fit into a box just because of the way that he looks? But, again, even with all of that, it was no matter what I did for him, it's only one thing that I can't give him. And that's for his father to be there how I would expect him to be there. Now, kudos to him, his family, it's a whole village, and I appreciate all of them. Like, I will fight for them. Like, that's my family. I love them, but just, I expected so much more, with having him. He's my only child, it's supposed to be happily ever after, all that extra shit. So it's like, I have some things that I instill in him. I'm like, Rochelle off of Everybody Hates Chris. I ain't raising no babies. But for the most part, anything that he wants, I'm going to support him. When he gets his little license, when he turns 7, well, if he has his license by the time he turns 17, he's gonna have a little hoopty. You know what I mean? When he graduates, as long as he does what he has to do, he's gonna have a little van, he's gonna have a little LLC, you know what I mean? Because I know that he's not the college type, so it's my job to set my kid up, as best as possible so that he can be successful. If somebody handed me those resources when I was his age, I would have been on some Oprah, you know what I mean? Ayana Van Zandt, or, way further along. So literally that guidance, and it's not just dads, it's dad figures. Yeah. You know what I mean? So just being around for the little kid that you see as a straggler, or your son always says gets in trouble. A lot of the time these kids are alone. They don't got no guidance. They turn into the streets and all this. Like, it genuinely breaks my heart. And then with us being brown, we have so many other things that we have to worry about. So now you got a little kid running around the street with a chip on his chest. He used that chip towards somebody, pow, pow, he ain't hit no more. Not to say that he can't go on the wrong block and the same thing, but, I just feel like if we have more tools to say, look, this ain't right, to listen to ourselves, our intuition, to be able to tell if we're in the wrong place, or if something's off, or if people acting funny. And, if we're able to tune out all of the bullshit around us and really listen to ourselves, it would literally save lives, would help us realize whether we should take these medications. Because about the medications, all right, I took a medication because I got to close a blocked tear duct, and I might die from lung lung inflammation. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, do I really want that clear tear duct? And I might die from not being able to breathe. Like we're oversaturated with so many things. There is no bullying. Well, everything is bullying now. Nothing builds character. You know what I mean? Like we're so pacified. You know what I mean? That it's going to come a time when if these things go away, we're literally just going to some people's heads going to explode. You know what I mean? Like they're literally not going to know how to function without this or without that. So going back to the medications, instead of just feeding these people medication, we should also have things in place to help them wean off of that. You know what I mean? You're a product of that. You know what I mean? My son is a product of that. It's possible. You can live normal lives, you know what I mean, without having to feed yourself all of that junk. You know what I mean? And in some cases, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not taken away from it. You know what I mean? But we should try all of our resources, you know. In addition to that, as a wellness coach, we should try to prevent ailments or things from happening than trying to treat it. You know, so if you know you got high blood pressure now, you shouldn't let it get out of control. And then when you're on dialysis, you freaking out and wondering why. You know what I mean? If you're on high blood pressure now, you should be using herbs and remedies and stuff like that and eating healthier so that you don't exhaust your kidneys. So it's just all kinds of stuff that's just going on. And we have so many resources right here. I could touch it. You know what I mean? What I just said, you could Google it and see if it's a fact or not. You know what I mean? So it's like we have so much stuff readily available to us, but it's so in our face that we don't even bother looking, you know, and we got one life to live, bruh. You know what I mean? Neither of us promised tomorrow, you know, and I just simply want to be okay when I do go. And I want as many people around me to be happy, you know, and happy is not 24/7, but to be at peace with themselves and the life that they led. You know what I mean? Because they led it authentically. And when you know that your spirituality is separate from your religion, baby, then you typically start to get your shit together. You know what I mean? So it's layers and layers and layers. And typically with my clients, I see how deep they want to go. Because as you can see, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I go down rabbit holes like that. I love doing stuff like that. Like
my tinfoil hat stays on.
Yeah, so you know, some people don't want to go that deep. Yeah, I mean, they don't want to go that deep, which is fine, you know, but simply put, just, you know, thinking about changing the way of thinking and just knowing that just because you were raised a certain way doesn't mean you have to raise your kids a certain way, or you can simply take what you want to take and leave what you want to leave because it's your life. These are your kids, you know, and you have the opportunity and the responsibility to do better, be better, you know, and as long as you take accountability for that, typically, and do your best and just pure in your intentions, you know, it'll come back tenfold.
Yeah, I want to talk about I got 3 questions on my mind, but let's stay on this one for a minute. Like I'm sitting here smoking a Black and Mild tonight, right? I bought a Black and Mild. I smoked one I think last Thursday, right? I don't smoke them throughout the week or whatever. I used to be a heavy smoker, right? Now I do these little nicotine pouches. I drink. I gotta have my weed. I know I'm an addict. I'm a high functioning addict. Fucking on everything, coffee, Red Bull. Just give me it. I like stimulants. I like
to say you have an addictive personality.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
That sounds cuter, right? So continue. I'm sorry.
Addictive personality. And I kind of justify it too in a way. Like I got a buddy, wherever, maybe he needs to take a little pill or something before he goes to work, right? And me, on the other hand, I smoke my joint. I might have a shot or a shooter before, or I might take some vodka in my water bottle and go to work. I'm a bartender, by the way, so it's not.
Okay. It's not unheard of.
So I drink on the job. I'll tell the customer, "Hey man, you want to buy me a shot? Fuck the tip, just buy me a shot." Oh yeah, hell yeah. And but those are, for me, as long as I keep it in a moderation fashion, that's like me taking a pill, right? I'm just so against refilling this, and I just call my weed. I go to the dispensary here in Nevada, but I go down to the dispensary, I refill, my weed bag, and that makes me happy. Now, would you say, in your professional opinion, that, like, okay, it's cool that I'm I've gotten this far, but then is there like another later? It's like, well, bro, why do you need a shot to go to work anyway? Why do you like, or if you know, if I don't get my joint lit and get that exact hit that I want, I'm at work like, fuck, I just want to go out and, you know, dig in my ashtray and finish that joint off, you know, on my break. Is that something that needs to be corrected? Like the dependency, like I'm always dependent on something, you know, like where does that come from? You know?
Well, the main thing that I always say is that you're asking yourself all of the right questions. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I give you a perfect example. You know, you said you're 36 years old. Let's say you're 36, never smoked, never drank, never stole nothing, never jaywalked. You run 3 miles a day. You're the CEO of a company. You've been doing great, man. Like the Kanye West College Dropout album, right? The intros and stuff. You're running one day, you get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
What does it matter whether you smoked, whether you drank, whether you did this, whether you did that? You know what I mean? Now, the same Lush, everybody has one in their town. You know, they're always outside of the liquor store. They live to 98. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Right. Yes, there's no way to know. You know, I look at it like this. If it's interfering with your job performance, if it's interfering with the relationships that you have with people, if you're physically hurting someone, you know, stuff like that, then yes, that's something that you need to work on. But I'm also very humble. And I'm not the type of person to say, oh, well, because I'm a wellness coach, I'm a vegetarian. I smoke sometime too. You know, I like a little drinky drink as well. You know what I mean? This January will be a year that I cut cigarettes. I quit it before, but I never just left it. You know what I mean? So I don't smoke regular cigarettes, but for some reason, when I drink, it's the filter tip Black and Milds. They're cheap. I'm not spending as much as I do. Like, so it's like justified. You know what I mean? It's justified to me. So it's like, I'm not one to sit here and judge just because I'm a wellness coach that eats meat and you don't, but you smoke and I don't. The way I look at it is, as long as you're doing it in moderation, you're not hurting nobody, then rock out. Now, I do believe, you know, every time we reach another level or another point of growth, it doesn't end. You know, it's not a race, it's a marathon. It's a whole journey of life, right? So you said you used to chief like crazy. You don't smoke as much no more. You know, so if it as far as Black and Milds.
Oh yeah.
Right, because I can't say chief unless it's weed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I see. I didn't know that. Look, you learn something new every day. So, you know, you say you used to smoke a lot of tobacco or whatever, like that, right? Yeah. So let's say, for instance, you know, instead of smoking the whole black, you say from now on you're only going to smoke half, and you're going to throw the rest out, and you're only going to have that one. So you have to physically, like I learned, like some of my cousins, they'll be outside chilling, they smoking ha kiki, and they got money, and I'm like, why are we going to the gas station to get a black? But it's going to deter them from going to get it. They don't have any more. They have to go to the store and get it. So they just get one. So like a couple years ago, I had weight loss surgery. I dropped like 100 pounds. Right. So I don't drink much sugar, soda, none of that. Every once in a while, I might crave for one. So guess what? I'll go to the bodega or the corner store. I'll get a can of soda. I'll enjoy it. And once it's gone, it's gone. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that because I got my fix, but it's not a 2-liter bottle and, you know, all that stuff. So the main thing that I would say is moderation. If it's coming in between you paying bills or, you know, like you're chain smoking, or then okay, that might be a problem. It's other things that you could, you know, get around. But for the most part, we all have our vices in some way. Some people vices is the gym. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're literally maniacs in the gym. They're twitching if they don't work out. You know, so everybody has their thing. But at the end of the day, if you were to lay in your bed tonight and this is your last night, would you be happy? Would you be at peace? If that means taking a pull of your black, you know what I mean, while you're in the hospital, like whatever the case may be, you know how the little movies be like, oh, look at my pocket. It's a little shot in there. Like, you ain't supposed to drink no shot, Uncle Doc. You know what I mean? Like, nah, bump that. You know, I'm grown. Like, fuck it.
Harry's again.
YOLO. That's how I look at it. YOLO. You know what I mean? As long as it's moderation, live your life. Don't sit out here and, you know, you could go at any time. You know, just be mindful and be conscious of what you're doing. That's the main thing, you know.
Okay. And yeah, that's when I think of my stuff, and even some of my close friends and family, they'll be like, even ones that don't partake in any vices like myself. I've been told recently, and a lot of times they're like, yo, like, why you so I'm the guy, like I did some cocaine like 3 weeks ago when I went back home to Vegas, and it was like 2 years since I did cocaine because I don't want to do it anymore. And the last time I did it, I was in Mexico. I had to do it in Mexico. It was fucking amazing. And so I said I would never do it again here in the States because it ain't worth it. Like I took one bump of this shit down there and I was like, oh, it was amazing. And but I did it again about 3 weeks ago, you know, with the fellas. And I didn't really want to, but again, I haven't reached that total play. Like after the second night, I'm like, I'm cool, bro. Like I don't even like it was fun, but I literally feel like shit. My nostrils are bleeding. I got sores. I just feel miserable. I feel like a loser. I'm a fucking loser. I feel like a loser. I literally, that's how it makes me feel. I feel so negative about myself. But people will still be like, bro, like you're good. Like your bills are paid. Your girlfriend's taking care of the kids. Like you're just out here chilling, bro, a couple days and you're gonna go back to work. No big deal. Right. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. But
yes, they aren't right. They're right in everything that they're saying, but that doesn't mean that just because all of that is true that you want to do coke. You know what I mean? And just because that might have been Harris at that time doesn't mean that you're not still Harris, but different. You know what I mean? So if you seem like if those your boys and y'all get up and y'all have your little trips or whatever the case may be, or when you go back home, maybe take some shrooms and stuff like that. Like, y'all do what y'all do, but this is what I do because it made you feel so bad. Now, stuff like that, when it made you feel bad, like guilty after,
I feel, you know what I mean? That feel dirty and shameful.
Yeah. So that just next time that happens, just remember how you felt this time. You know what I mean? And if that means that you take a little extra, you know, something different for you, something that's a little extra for you, then you take your extra, but just, you know, and your boys have to understand that as well. You know, that goes to boundaries and discernment. Like, look, yes, I don't care how happy you think my life is. I need you to respect me as a person. I'm not knocking or judging anything that you do. I love you. We out here. Let's go. But I got my own little party pack. You keep that, I'm good. You know what I mean? And they have to respect that. And if they respect it, fine. If they start to pressure you or consistently keep coming back to it, then that's maybe another conversation that you have to have down the line. But your friends need to know boundaries. You know what I mean? That's just like if I'm not going to sit here and smoke a blunt and keep passing you. Well, I mean, smokers do that. They consistently pass the blunt to somebody that doesn't smoke. It's just a habit. But you know, I'm not going to consistently keep passing someone a blunt when they're saying that it's different if they don't smoke and I'm just doing it out of reflex. But if you're telling me that you're trying to stop, you know what I mean? Why would I pass you a cigarette or smoke a cigarette in front of you knowing, you know, that you don't want to deal with that anymore? So just for you being able to say, cool, y'all can do what y'all want to do. We all we all chilling, we bugging, but I'm good on that. You know what I mean? Like you don't. I just feel like, and I'm real big off of energy and stuff like that. And you just didn't feel like yourself. You felt bad because you know you came such a long way, and that is something that's in your past right now. You don't need that. You know what I mean? You get euphoria in different ways now, so you don't have to mask anything that you're trying to get away from with that anymore because you've grown so much and you're a different person now. You know what I mean? So they can understand it or they don't. But next time, look, don't make me come to Vegas. I need a reason. I only been out there twice. You feel me? Like, who messing with Harry? He said no. Leave him alone. Thank you. Well, like, we good off these shrooms, okay?
The thing is, like, I know there's gonna be a day where, and I've done it. Like, I know I'm done with the whole meth shit. That's for sure. Because that's like an extra. That's like coke times 1,000. That's like, I couldn't even do that. But there was still this pull there. It was like, fuck, I want that feeling. Like I wanted. It's good for like the first 45 minutes, first hour, and then after that, I'm like, fuck, all right, it's time to.
How long does it last?
I mean, you know, you're probably gonna peak out at 2 hours, 4 hours, but it's you got to keep doing it to, you know, to. Like the peak for me, I guess, because I've done it so many years, is I get like a good hour out of it, like, you know, a couple hours, and then I start to crash, and then my whole brain fog comes, and there's a spiritual torment there with it because, I guess, you know, being a Virgo, just kind of, I don't know, fuck astrology, but you know, if you want to even go off those terms, like we're very we worry about our hygiene, we worry about our health. I believe my organ is the kidneys or the small intestine, if I'm not mistaken, one of the two. Like that's what the organ that rules over us.
You regulate.
Yeah, younger I wanted to play basketball, of course. You know, I was into sports, so I had to keep my body clean for that. And so there was a reason to like kind of be healthy. But I always have this I guess battle of within, to where my body was really made, whoever the hell my biological parents were, and there were some partiers, man, and because it's like everything I do is in high tolerance. I can sleep for 45 minutes or 2 hours or be up for 2 or 3 days on or off drugs. I'll just be up. Like if I have something to do, you're like, yo, we can't go to sleep for like 2 days. I'll be like, all right, cool, let's roll, and so I could be a rock star, fucking night in, night out, raw. But then deep down, when I really sit and like get into with myself or meditate or go for my walks or my hikes, I see myself as an old man in the mountains with a stick, with just like a white linen over me or some, and just hiking through a forest, and it's green and lush and super rainy. So probably the Northwest somewhere. And but to me, that when I sit and ask myself, like, what is peace? Like, what does a peaceful life look like? That's a man of wisdom. Like just walking in the hillside, I pick fruits, I eat from the earth, and this is like no biblical shit or nothing. This is just like my true. Where would I want to be? Like you want the rock star life, the fucking bad bitches, and the tours and drugs, and then you die in a hotel at 45,
right?
But you're a legend. Or do you want to be this guru, Russell Simmons, without the sex allegations? Because I heard that's why he's hiding out. And I don't want to be, but he's on his yogi tip. I respect that. And he's a positive guy, at least when he talks in the public. But I heard he's running for some charges. But but I would like to be of that caliber. So I think for me, it's like it's just that battle, man. There's still I feel it leaving my body, but I got that party bone still, and I have that, like you said, addictive personality to where, like, okay, even right now, like I got the black amount just because ever since I went to Vegas and did the coke, I've been craving the black, so I had like one a week. Had one a week, and so I do the Zins, the little pouches, nicotine pouches. Haven't had a cigarette in probably 3 or 4 years, but I won't pick another flavor. I do the 6 milligram wintergreen. I'll go into the store, literally, if they don't got the 6s, I'll do the 3s, but like I don't switch flavors. All my liquors are particular. Like tonight, I specifically wanted to sip on tequila. If you would have like thrown some whiskey at me, I would have probably still sipped it just because I want to sip something. But I swear to God, like I would have, after the show, I would have had to go buy tequila because like my brain that is telling me like, bro, like fight the demon, just get tequila. And then tomorrow I might wake up like, damn, I really want like a screwdriver, and I might have a screwdriver, but then I won't drink the rest of the night or something. So, but I don't know what that voice is like. I'm very cool with moderation, but there's still this little thing there that's like, I don't want to get off on too many things because, I like this, I like that. The next thing you know, I'm, fucking just all over the place. Can't get out of the cycle.
Naked, standing at the edge of a cliff. But you know what? I think that little voice that you're talking about, that's your intuition. And, there's no one around you saying, oh my God, well, you need to stop doing this. These are conversations that you're having with yourself. So to me, it just seems like, you're in between another elevation, or ascension, or whatever it is that you want to call it. You're about to enter a new chapter in your life. So since you're entering that new chapter, you have this aching of something that you're supposed to leave behind, but is trying to come with you before you flip that new page. So, that's conversations that you have to have with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, am I going to continue to do this? Am I not? And again, you have to give yourself grace. You know, you have to, you know how they say, don't forget where you came from. You know, you have to remember how far you came. So you have to be stern with yourself, hold yourself accountable, but you also have to be able to pat yourself on the back and say, I'm human. I fucked up this time. I ain't going to do it again. But, you know, just holding yourself accountable, that little voice, your intuition is not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? But being able to know that there is a little voice and it's just not you. Like you seem to be very decisive. You know what I mean? Like something's saying something to you. Like, all right, I know what it is. A lot of people was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? You know, they just think that they're being overthinkers or whatever like that. So it seems like you know what you want. You know how to get there. You know it's something, but you're just trying to figure out, you know, what it is. So, you know, I mean, as far as like the patches and stuff like that, maybe start getting used to just the 3. You know what I mean? And that might make you feel a little better after a time or whatever like that, because it's still weaning you, you know, keeping you off the cigarettes. It should wean you off the blacks a little bit. But even if you go to, you know, 1 black every 2 weeks or a black a month, or, you know, even if it's been some time and you decide to pick up a black, it's you know what I mean? Like, all right, whatever, I got my drink, whatever the case may be. It's nothing wrong with having your taste or wanting what you want, you know, as long that it's in moderation. We work damn hard. People don't see all the things they just see this part. You know what I mean? They don't see all the things that we do in the background, that we also have jobs and families and lives like everybody else. You know what I mean? It's hard out there. So if I need to kick my foot up, like sometimes I even go to a hotel. Like, you know, you don't got the kids sometimes, just you and your shorty go to the hotel with a jacuzzi and rock out. Bring everything that you want to bring to the party. Bring your Alexa, bring your cars, whatever y'all can have, like a fun night. Maybe make it a game night too, maybe some strip poker or whatever the case may be. But literally just, you know, recreate different environments or atmospheres that would give you the same feeling as, you know, whatever drugs and vices that you're trying to leave behind. That's typically like what I do. I took up skating. I skated as a kid. I haven't skated as an adult, period, maybe twice, but I bought some skates and I'm skating. I walk like 2 miles 3 times a week now. This is never nothing that I would do, you know, when I was younger. But I also can't really drink all night now and just pop up and be to work at 4 o'clock in the morning like I used to. Like, I don't even want to do that, you know? So it's just the evolution of me, the evolution of you, and just, you know, simply knowing that you're changing. And as we change, like the 46-year-old, you ain't gonna want to do the same shit you're doing now. You know, maybe in some way, but you're going to develop new tastes. You're going to start removing things that you do now that you're not going to want to do. Like, it's all elevation, you know, evolution, you know, of you. So with that, you know, some things are going to come with you and some things ain't. So
I hope so. The sad thing is, I've never known, I didn't really grow up with, like, and the same for a lot of us, like any successful people. My stepmom is probably the smartest, most successful person I know in just terms of like logic and just her career. And like, it's really interesting, man. I know 50-year-olds, you know, that are just still battling with, like, they drink more than me. I mean, I don't even really drink that. You know, the whole Harris is drinking. I put on more than I do. You know, like, I don't know, I drink like a 8 ounce, whatever, force half a pint, you know, during a show and here and there. But it seems like, and maybe that's what I'm looking at too much. It's like, damn, okay, I got to get away from that. I'm my own man. I am gonna be this person. I call it the 5 stages of manhood. I don't know how many there is, but let's just say there's 5. I truly feel like I'm on number 4, maybe even 3.8, 3.9, but like a 4. And I'm like you said, I'm in that in between. The next phase, I guess, when I really hone in on it, and the battle is like, it's discipline. It's mastering my brain. My heart is great, great place. I truly know my heart. Like, I don't do nothing. I don't want to hurt you. I'm so fucking chill. And I think that's why I'm so quiet. And sometimes I come off even like a dick or arrogant. Like, I'll just be in line when I go into in public and shit like that. I fucking mind my business. I'm just so in my head, and
right.
you know. But I'm never an asshole, man. I'm not. Hey, you can go ahead, man. Hey, what's up, brother? You know, oh, how you doing? little shit like that, right? But mastering the brain to where, because the brain gets you in some trouble, you know. And I think, especially, well, both of us, men and women, we don't know how to control the brain. Simply,
Yeah.
you know, we want, whether it comes to lust, like, we just see. Actually, I want to get into that too. I've seen a couple of like your Facebook posts, this and that. You know, you post like, let me see if I can pull it up, or if you said something the other day, something.
So I've been trying something new because Facebook gave me this performance bonus. So my goal is to get to 30K.
Okay.
So I've just been out here all willy-nilly getting people to engage and stuff like that.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
I'm curious to see which post you're talking about.
Let me see. Because this is where the societal thing. While I find it, I want to bring up real quick. What about?
Oh, was I talking about shambles? Should a person date if their life is in shambles?
Oh, that. No, let's see. That's a good one too. I seen the one about fellas. You know, why do you think peeing will fix everything? But it was even before that.
Fellas.
Let's see.
What do you mean when you say a woman is difficult? Well, when a woman says she's difficult, does that mean you mishandled her?
Oh, hold on. Actually,
that's ridiculous. I'll be posting too damn much. I'm trying to run this checkup though. You feel me? You gotta get it how he lives.
Yo, the daily posting is a bitch.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know how people do this, and then they don't have a regular job or any. Like, I'm doing this as, you know, we do this as a job, and I'm like, it's exhausting. Like, I lay in the bed at night and set all my my post up for the next day.
Very smart. All right, here we got Tanya Franklin's Facebook page. Go give her a follow. 5.3K followers. Tone motivates. She's doing the damn thing. Let's see. Got a couple of publications. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Huami magazine. Libra's up next. Hey, we still got a few more days in Virgo season.
A few more days.
And why y'all think calling us fat matters? It's been that South. Okay, yeah, true.
Every single job.
Where's that?
You're making me think. Like, I post a lot. Jesus.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was nothing crazy. I was just like, oh, that's an interesting one. I think it kind of related to what we were talking about. It could have been this one. Because in this one, we can go off this one though. Fellas, if you've ever told, well, let's switch up to beats though, man. I'm tired of this. Fucking DJ. God damn, man, you falling asleep over there drinking on the job and shit. Hard shit going on here. Something. If you've ever told a woman she's difficult, did you ever think you may have been? I've never really told a woman that, so I can't really.
Oh, was it the one about out of your league?
Let's see, I might have to scroll down.
You got me looking too now. It wasn't about love languages.
Love languages, yeah. I think. Let me see what.
Oh, if a person told you how they want to be loved, would you listen or something like that?
Something, yeah, fellas. Oh, and this one too, fellas. What do you think when a woman says? Oh, yeah. It was this one. When she could control you with the kitty.
Oh. So what about it?
So, well, this was going into something we were just speaking of, man. The brain, like if you can master your mind, right? Because we fall victim to the kitty, we fall victim to lust, to the image of it, so quickly, so easily. as well as anything else, drugs, pleasure, and so. But when I think of this post, let's see. I mean, for me, I can only be controlled literally in the physical moment. If she said, "Lay on the end of the bed, let me squat on your face," I'd be like, "Okay,
okay."
you know, you can control me. Okay, now go stand against the wall." And oh shit, but I don't. I'm kind of an asshole. Like I really don't care. And this is what I want to maybe bring up with you as well. Is I might have some woman issues and stuff, right? Because like I just want, even at 36 years of age, and I am in a relationship, but I'm still speaking just me. Like if this shit ended tomorrow, like my girl, she'll tell me like, oh, you know, you probably want that anyway, or, you know, or if I did, you know, you'd go find someone else. And I'm like, I said, not really though. I said, see, that's the thing you're missing. I said, it's not that I said, am I going to go try to get my tip butt somewhere for sure, a little rebound, whatever? I would assume you'd probably try to do the same thing. But for a partner, like you couldn't control me with the cat is like an ongoing thing. I don't know how to, you get what I'm saying a little bit?
Yeah. So a lot of the posts that I put up is either things that I've experienced or things that my friends or the people around me have experienced. Now, coming from a woman that has had a stalker, that is, my post is true in some ways, like physically restraining order, like life threatened, all that, just because I don't want to be with you. But we're having situationships and doing things like we're together when we're not. So that was my fault for, you know, crossing that boundary with him, knowing that I left him in the friend zone, right? So this post is more so for people that's dating, having sex, all that extra stuff, not so much a relationship. Because if we want to be funky, when it comes to relationships, we're both using each other. You know what I mean? You're using me for something, I'm using you for something. And I don't say that in any negative way. As a woman, it doesn't matter how much money I'm about to say, oh, I got this and I got that, and I'm tonemotivates.com, somebody breaking in my house right now. You know what I mean? You're going to help protect me from that as a man and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, as a man, you protect women and this and that. As a woman, we nurture, we support, we take care of the home, you know, stuff like that. So as a male and a woman, a yin and a yang, this and a that, or whatever you want to call it, it has to be some kind of balance and harmony as far as what we both bring to the table. Now, I like, so all kind of Facebook groups. I've been social media dating or just dating forever. But there's a really popular group on Facebook right now, like Shoot Your Shot. It's over 30,000 people in this group. So literally every month, every 2 months, you're seeing an engagement. Like, I met off this group and and I'm about to move to Milwaukee and all this extra stuff. So it's there. Like people, it's statistics. People are meeting each other and, you know, doing all of that. But it's a lot of clout on there. You know, it's a lot of people that are just talking, or people that's putting up facades because of social media. So I could present myself to you any way that I want to, because how would you know? So I feel as though, you know, as women, it doesn't matter how I look, you know, because I'm a woman. Typically, I can get sex easier than you could just because I'm a woman, right? They say, you know, women sleep with who they want, men marry who they want, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. So I know plenty of women that they stand by that, you know, and they bills are taken care of and this and that and all that, and I control them, but are you happy? And in some situations, I can say the same thing and they are happy. You know what I mean? And there's some, I could go to a friend's house and I'd be, and you know, a wife would say that, and a husband be like, "You're damn right, she controlling me with the pussy. That's why she got this house." And you know, in other households, it's going to be a whole damn argument. I'm a whole man, you know. So it all depends who you're saying it to, and who you're around. But I like to believe when I get married, damn yeah, he controlling me with the D, you know, and I'm controlling him. Like, it's not necessarily control; it's more like playful. But yes, he got me. I'm not going nowhere. You know what I mean? I'm a natural nurturer. So
yeah,
a lot
of men are they're afraid to leave their woman simply because of the in-house coochie. And because we talked about that one here before, like men that let themselves go simply because they got some pussy, you know what I mean? I mean, in more ways than none. And then, women too, you stop shaving and do all, different things.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this is what enticed us in the first place. Do you think, like, but men in general, we're just like, we're just too thirsty, right? Like, I mean, we've always been that way, whether it's our own personal experiences, the way the media portrays men and women, like the music. It's just, I mean, do you think, is it, can it ever be repaired? Like, I feel like there's almost, forget the gender, well, there's a, yeah, like it's a gender where it's like this male versus female battle going on right now.
Yeah.
And there's a fighting few that want that traditional, like, you seem like, I don't know, I mean, and it's to even ask, right? You get what's your, but you seem like a woman who's sound in her morals, like, who is whatever position you're in, you seem like you would want to play that role. Mm-hmm. Then you have women that, they still want to be a woman, but they don't want to maybe do dishes or cater to a man. And you got women that they really feel that desire, like they want to birth babies. And
but that goes back to what the women want to do. Like, how many times have you heard your boy like, oh, I've been dating this girl for months, she don't cook, she don't clean. That girl ain't never cooked or clean. You know what I mean? Like, I cook, I clean because that's what I do. Like, I love to cook.
And so,
you know what I mean?
It would be his fault, because it's like, well, homie, you probably just she's controlling you with the coochie. If you want a woman who cooks and cleans, then step your standards up. Go get, go try to attract a woman like that. Is that what you said?
All right, so I'm a complete walking contradiction of myself, because I can say all that. I want love. I want a companion. I want somebody that I can spend my life with. Just like you, the marriage thing doesn't necessarily matter. I want to know that you 10 toes down for me. I'll go to the end of the world for you if I know that. You know what I mean? So with that comes loyalty. So let's say I'm this church girl, and oh no, I want my man, but he makes me feel safe. He makes me feel protected. Everything is taken care of. He listens to me. All this extra stuff. And he say, "Oh, I want a threesome." I'm going to entertain that. You know what I mean? He never gave me a reason to think that he's going to step out on me. He does everything that I ask of him. And now this is something that he wants to try, and I'm not going to entertain it. And this is supposed to be my companion. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are closed-minded and just selfish, that when it's a relationship, it's not supposed to be 50-50. It's supposed to be 100-100. Now, there's times it's going to be 70-30 or whatever the case may be. But I had lost my train of thought. I remember why I said that. People ignore red flags. I have a podcast episode on that. It's called Convenience, Complacency, and Cornballery, because that's what it is, straight bullshit. You know what I mean? Because instead of you noticing these red flags and things that's like, all right, hold up, I don't know, you know what I mean? You're ignoring it because of the flesh, because it's physical, because she gives you good head, or, this or that, but you're not paying attention to how she treats her kids, if she handles her business, if she's always asking you for stuff off bat, and, all of those things. So just me, the caliber woman that I am, I typically never ask men for nothing. They ask like, damn, why you don't never ask me for shit? I have to pay my bills regardless. Not to say that if you cash at me a mini and petty money, I ain't going to use it. Not to say if you said you want to pay a bill, I ain't going to give you the information. But if these are things that I was taking care of before I met you, why wouldn't I continue to take care of it? You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, that might come off intimidating to a man that might not have his things together, right? That's none of my business, though. But, in return, guys that are of the same caliber are still a little intimidated, because for whatever reason, there's not as many women, I guess, that are like me. You know what I mean? And not to like toot my own horn, but like, I wouldn't mind getting married. I wouldn't mind having a companion, not getting married. I also wouldn't mind dabbling in polygamy if I could have two men. You know what I mean? So literally, like, when I say delirious optimist, like, I'm a dreamer, I am open-minded. So when it comes to my partner that I know is through and through, he don't play about me. We're doing whatever he want to do. Let's go. Because I know he's going to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? So it's like people force so much, like, oh, well, maybe he'll change. Now, yes, we are supposed to change. We're supposed to grow. right? If I'm growing and you not, it's going to be a disconnect. Vice versa. You know what I mean? We both need to be growing individually. And sidebar, a lot of people get lost in themselves because, I did this for you. No. If I'm changing, I'm supposed to be changing for myself. Now, if that benefits you, fine. But I should never, I did this for you. I changed for you. I became a better person because of you. No, bitch, you should have became a better person for yourself. Okay. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people project, or simply put, we meet people that's a reflection of us in some way, or the type of energy that we putting out. You know what I mean? So if you out here running around acting like the baby or whoever else, and then wonder why you always meet thoughts, you know what I mean? Like at the club or at strip clubs, like what type of women do you think you're going to meet there? Not to say that people haven't met in those environments and been good, but if you consistently put yourself in the same kind of environment, but you want something different, what's different is going to come out of that? You know what I mean? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result is insanity, ain't it? So put yourself in different environments. You want a chick that could come and bring the table like you could bring your table, you know what I mean? Then go to different places where you can meet those type of women. But don't sit here and mess with all the dots and be mad because she trapped you and she already had 8 kids before that and now she needs you to pay her bills and and she busted your cars and you knew this the first time you pulled up on her.
What would you say to the couple or the person who they meet a partner in the beginning, maybe something like that, similar, and then they find themselves together, so to speak, like you kind of both meet each other. I have a friend like this who he was on his way, to just figuring out himself, met a woman who's had a kid already, but she was still finding her, herself as far as financially, getting a lot of help or assistance, different stuff like that, right? And then they got together and then kind of brought themselves up out of that. The one dude was making pretty good money. He was a breadwinner. What would you say? And it could be the reverse role, a woman who, maybe you take a chance on this guy. Oh, we were young and this and that, and he's my baby daddy. I don't want to leave him, right? I don't want to, my kid to be without a father. But when the other person feels like you grew apart, like you're supposed to be a partnership, but when it's like, it's like, damn. And then your mind opens up and you were younger back then. Now you're coming into your own age, your next level of adulthood, womanhood, manhood. Is that wrong to still want to go out and pursue, say if you make a family and then, gosh, I love my family, I can never, imagine life without them. But at the same time, as an individual, that, what, maybe it's the grass is greener or it's a new set of standards or values that you have for yourself. You say, you know what? I am going to meet another one because I'm still going to have this family the way I want. Is that okay? I know a lot of men that have done that. They're better off on the second family. I don't know why.
Yeah. All right. So for some reason, well, not even some reason, but let's just say it's 5 women to 1 man. So I could possibly fumble you and literally have to pray to God to hope that I get one more like you. And I better not fuck up this time. You, on the other hand, can fumble me, Keisha, Kima, and Pam and come across Tasha. And now your life is together. You're like, you done went through the rigmarole. You done, didn't do these other girls right. You'll never want to do that again. Like you just want to do right. You marry her. You know what I mean? Y'all good. So I don't know what the imbalance is, but I also know that it's a very thin line between the amount of levels that can be in between a person or a couple. You know what I mean? I feel like if like you're on level 5 and I'm on level 2, all right. We got some, we got some. But if I'm on 7 and you on 2, then nah, because now once I get to level 14, you still on level 6. You know what I mean? So no, because even though I might have fed into you, help support you, help you grow, opened your mind, whatever the case may be, we're not going to take away from that. I love you, you love me, whatever. But you are still not growing at the speed that I'm growing. So even though I could commend that, I appreciate it, I respect it, I say to you, you know what I mean? I still have a thirst or a yearning or something that needs to be quenched that eventually isn't. Like that's how some of my friends is. You know what I mean? One spouse is not on the other spouse level. You know what I mean? They're okay with that. You know what I mean? I also know some people that do things, but they did things or certain things as far as their family life because they felt it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why I'm a single friend, because I don't have no regrets. You know what I mean? I moved off of how my heart felt and what I thought was good for me and mine at that point. Whether it's right down the line or whether it works out for me or not is one thing, but I followed my heart. You know what I mean? And that goes into another episode, lit, LIYT, live in your truth. Because that's what your friends did. Regardless of whether the first wife and the first family is upset or whatever the case may be, they are genuinely happy in the second one. It doesn't mean that it was less than. It doesn't mean that they don't have the same type of love, but this is the love that they need right now. You know, and a lot of people don't understand that. Sometimes people just grow apart. You'll hope that you're going to keep growing and, you know, going down the same lane or whatever, but it's not always that. It happens. You know, it happens. But I will always respect a spouse that can take accountability and let me know what it is. I don't care if I'm about to sit here and cry. I'm about to be depressed for 3 days. Oh my God, my baby leaving me. He told me what it was. Instead of me looking stupid in these streets, I know what it is. It's not working for me. I'm not happy no more. I'm trying to fulfill myself. I can't, it's but so much bitterness I can have over that. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't want you to hold me back. So like I just consistently send, what people need to do, I should say, is consistently send love, light, and healing out to people. Just because y'all didn't make it don't mean, oh, that fuck that bitch. Or that. It doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? Look, we had our moments, and people don't understand that exes are examples of what you want or don't want. You know what I mean? So typically when you break up with somebody, it's not all bad. If it is all bad, you should never even been with them. But typically it's not all bad. You know, I have a guy that I dated in Delaware, which is about an hour drive from me, hour and a half drive. And I would go chill with him and all that stuff, but he has so much going on. I loved, he showed me how to hike. He showed me how to fish. I incorporated that into things that I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? So even though me and him didn't work, it didn't mean that I didn't take anything from that relationship. So when people start realizing that us dealing with people and dating and all that stuff, relationships are examples of what we want and we don't want in life, then, you know, we could sit there and have that conversation. It's a difficult conversation. Who wants to say, hey, babe, I don't love you no more? You know, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to respect you for letting me know what it is instead of you sitting there for 3 years and resenting me because you've been sick of my ass and you're secretly in love with your work wife. Like, nah, like live your life. Whatever the hell that is, go for it, bro. Like, and that's like people are so selfish. Like, I'm just going to hold on to him because I know he's not going to go anywhere. Because men are y'all the ones less likely to leave. Women are typically ones like, look, I'm sick of you, bye. You know what I mean? Guys usually are sticking it out. I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna see. Women, you know what I mean? We up and we out, you know, but we put a lot of thought into it or whatever like that. But neither here nor there. Everybody ain't supposed to be like our great grandparents and together with 50 years. They went through all kinds of shit. There's other families in different towns and all that, but we didn't hear about it because grandpa took care of both families. You know what I mean? So I think like, you know, people need to decide what it is that they want and they need to have these difficult conversations. Like, you know what I mean? It's not wrong getting to know people. Like, do you have any trauma? Are you emotionally available? Like, men look at me like I'm crazy when I say that on the first date. Are you emotionally available? Because I don't care that you pulled up in this range and picked me up and we went to AC to go eat and all this. Are you emotionally available? Do you have space to love on me? Do you have space to love on yourself? Because if not, I respect you letting me know, you know what I mean? We might be able to play a little bit or something like that, but I don't got time to be sitting here playing with people. And that's the main thing people don't understand. This is people's lives. You know what I mean? And we getting older. When we was in our 20s, we never thought we'd be where we at now, huh? We thought that was far, far away. But nah, like just be true to yourself. And if you really care for that person, the least that you could do for them is to be true to them. You know what I mean? And people don't get that. So that's why they call me the delirious optimist.
Delirious Optimist. Tonemotivates.com is her website. This is the homepage. She has a whole thing going on here. About me section, contact. If you would like to get in touch and pay for her services. And let's see. Okay, schedule a consultation. Boom. Get yourself right. Would you say we're going into they call it seasonal depression, huh? Fall time. I used to get this way right after my birthday. Not anymore. I used to have this really dark cloud, and it literally would just come over me out of nowhere. And a little bit of the doctor said it was bipolar, but he couldn't diagnose me. They sent me to the psychiatrist, and I said, "Fuck, I'm not going to know. I ain't going to get diagnosed with this bullshit. I probably got it. Yeah, motherfucker." So I just wrote it out. But would you say that this is a big time of year for a lot of people? Was fall?
Yes,
It all sad.
absolutely. I mean, for the most part,
Nobody to cuddle you.
The weather sucks, period. So we're just in the house. You can't even say, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to the waterfront. I'm just going to sit at the park. We can't unless you're sitting out there in the snow or, crappy weather, whatever the case may be. So we're just in the house, period, just because of the weather. But in addition to that, holidays are back to back to back. You know what I mean? So once Halloween hits, it's a wrap. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, you know what I mean? And then that brings up all kinds of emotions. If you're estranged from your family, you feel some kind of way. If you can't stand your family, you feel some kind of way. If you lost loved ones, you feel some kind of way. If you don't have any loved ones, you feel some kind of way. You know what I mean? So it's just a really, really emotional time for us in general, especially since we spend so much time on social media. So you could be trying to ignore it, off to your lonesome, like, all right, I got this. But you spend a little extra time on Facebook and Instagram or Twitter or, whatever the case may be. And you find yourself a little depressed, because you're seeing all your high school friends with their families and their kids and, everybody that still got their parents or this and that. So it's just, it's a difficult time period. But I will say, one of the main things that I like about coaching, because everything that I use on other people, I use on myself and my son and my nieces and nephews and all of my friends and family. Get back to what it is that you enjoy doing. You know what I mean? Like, just like I was saying when I had got away from the writing, when I started writing again, like I don't once I started writing again, like the self-love changed, how I took care of myself changed, like all of that stuff changed. And it made me think, like thinking now, I can't even think of what love was to me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like I wasn't even taking care of myself the way that I was. And that goes back to something I said earlier. Like people look at it like, all right, well, I'm not working out. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? We work out and we take care of our body because we love ourselves. We love our body. You know what I mean? Not because it's punishment. Like it's supposed to be something looked at as positive, not negative. So sidebar to go back to what I was going to, but the skating rings are open all year. I picked that back up. I love to paint. So, me and my best friend, we have a wooden earring line geared towards the melanin community. So we paint hand wooden earrings or whatever. So it's turning into more like a philanthropic thing. So we donate to organizations, domestic violence, all that extra stuff. But just sitting there painting, like I could have a whole bottle, drink the whole bottle. I don't miss a beat. Like I don't even feel tipsy, nothing, because I know that I'm so much in the zone. However, I might be feeling negatively, none of that matters because I'm expressing it through this paint. So drawing, like whatever it is, people think that they have to be so great at what they do. You don't. You know what I mean? Like how are you a couple years ago, starting off your podcast? You know what I mean? Like just the memes and the thumbnails, like you probably came mad far just with the way that you put them together, but it took practice. You know what I mean? So that's one of the main things I tell my clients. Like, what is it that you used to do that you used to enjoy? Was it the piano? Was it the keyboard? What's something that you were told you couldn't do as a kid? Was it the piano? Was it the keyboard? Guess what? You could take keyboard lessons online right now. You go on Upwork right now, look for somebody that plays the keyboard for the price that you want an hour and do it on Zoom. You know what I mean? So whatever genuinely brings you joy, that intrinsic motivation. And people say intrinsic. Yes, intrinsic. So that's like watching your favorite sport, watching your favorite show. You're only watching it because you want to. Nobody's forcing you. This is not your job. You know what I mean? You're doing it because it's a pastime to you. It's a hobby to you. So when you're doing things that you genuinely enjoy, typically that can bring you out of ruts and all that stuff. Like I love YouTube. Anything spiritual on YouTube, I'm in there. I am in there. I watch 3 full hour shows on there, but I could sit there and I could get mad work done. You know what I mean? I'm setting up courses and free worksheets and I got content for days but that's my element. That's what I feel good doing, whether my friends are here or not. You know what I mean? So again, so many people are depressed because they used to being outside. They want to attach to people and things and all of that. Not saying that we don't need that in the human experience, but all of us all of us. And shout out to the people that's consistently alone and they don't have circles like we do socially and all that stuff. I mean, no harm, but all of us need to learn how to cope on our own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That meditation, that yoga, that being by ourselves.
The only child helped me out because I love my alone time too much. So my girlfriend flew out of town this weekend, so I'm actually home with the kids, the older ones holding
Daddy
it down.
Duty.
Yeah, the older one's holding it down for me while I'm on the show, and but now they're back in school. When I took her to the airport this morning, and I came back, I was like I almost had like a sense of like I was like anxious to get home because I was like I love just fucking like being alone. I mean, to that extent, like I can't wait till he's back out of school. And I mean, I would never want a day without him in my presence. But like, whether it's for a few hours or for the school day, like, I definitely don't like get weirded out. I actually like want aloneness,
Yeah.
And then when we do, getting in little arguments and stuff, I always tell us like, babe, like like I'm just everyone knows this about me. Like I'm literally meant to be single. Like I believe, as far as myself is just like me. I'm meant to live alone, wake up alone, die alone. I'll get dressed. I just want people to like, yo, when I'm ready, I'm calling you or like, reach out to me. Yeah. But I just
now to sidebar, because this is what one of my friends said this to me recently. I introduced her to a boyfriend. They've been dating for maybe like a year now, but he moved from one place and now he's in another apartment and she still has her apartment. And they have 2 apartments now. So that's 2 separate, bills that they're paying and all that stuff. But she said one of her terms, if they were to move in together, is that they have their own bedroom. And I looked at it like, now she is older than me. She's probably like 50 years old. She don't have any kids or anything like that. So it's like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, but it made me think for the first time that I wouldn't be indignant with that. You know what I mean? Like, even if it was, let's say, for instance, this is not my bedroom, but it's my office. You know what I mean? But it has a bed in it. So if it came to, and it don't even have to be, oh, we're beefing. That sometimes you literally just need your space. And that's the main thing with growing up, with my sisters and stuff like that. We grew up in a 2-bedroom for the most part. I never had space. Yet, even though I felt like Kevin on Home Alone, I always felt alone. So you see how busy his house was, and they sent him up to the attic in the first Home Alone, whatever. And he didn't want to be in the attic with his cousin that pissed in the bed and all that shit. Like, even though I had all those people around me consistently, I still felt alone. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, since I felt alone as a kid all that time, to me, being alone, like since I felt alone in my head, to physically be alone now, I'm still working on aligning both of them. You know what I mean? It's only me and my son. I'm a boy mom. He's the only child. When I say we roommates right now, Like, I probably won't hear from him again until he tells me, bye, mom, I'm leaving in the morning, till he get home Friday. You know what I mean? Afternoon. But other than that, like, he's a big kid. It's not but so much that he needs from me. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm laying in the bed, the house is silent. I can hear the damn air come on, the bird chirping, the car go by, and my thoughts is just running. You know what I mean? Just because I was also always used to all of that, it's so hard still for me to calm that down. And I do appreciate that about only children. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy for y'all to disconnect. Sometimes it's gonna be a little detrimental, but it's so easy for y'all to disconnect and just be with yourselves because y'all always were with yourselves. Meanwhile, me, I was 17, 18 years old, scared to go out of the house by myself because I wasn't even used to coming into a house by myself. You know what I mean? So all in all, I said that to say, it could be a little scary. It's a little like, we have to learn to be by ourselves without calling it boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Pick up a damn book. We all, as adults, we all got something that we didn't do. You know what I mean? Tackle that. You want to take up crocheting because your grandmama did it? Try it. You know what I mean? Like, it's no excuse for us, especially as adults, not to be able to be alone. And I think that's so important because if we can't do that, what the hell are our kids going to do? Like, they're oversaturated. Like, we were at the age where we had to be in the house before the school, like, the street lights came on. You know what I mean? We had dial-up internet. We had home phones. You know what I mean? Like, we look forward to going outside and all of that shit. We wore shorts and tank tops in the summer, not hoodies and sweatsuits. You know what I mean? So if we can't grasp that and incorporate that into our kids, number one, they're never going to want to be alone, or they're never going to want to be around anybody. They're going to live in a bubble. They're not going to know the difference between real life and simulation. It's going to be like, how you say it? So I get on my friends' nerves because even though I'm so well spoken, I have like specific words that I say crazy as hell, like empath. I don't know why I say it like that, but dystopian. How do you say that? It's a type of movie, I guess, a genre, where it's like in the future or what could happen in the future and all of that stuff. And that's our kids. I forgot what movie it was, but it was literally a fat kid sitting in front of the game and he was back like this, and he's literally a grease ball with fucking Dorito bags everywhere, and literally he's getting his deliveries to his window. He doesn't even know how to go. What's that Fifth Element?
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm horrible with movies, but
Yeah.
just all in all, our kids need to be more healthy. They're gonna have ailments and all kinds of shit because they're always on their ass. You know what I mean? They're drinking and eating all this bullshit. They're not getting outside. They're not getting vitamin C. Da, 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 da. So grounding is very real. Hugging trees is very real. Spending time in nature is real. Spend time with your kids, whether they want to or not. Make them watch a Netflix movie with you once a week. Sit down with them and have a meal with them. These kids are going through all kinds of stuff, just like we are. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't discredit the kids because at the end of the day, we're still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I just look at myself like as a little girl, and again, my tattoo, it says, be the person you needed.
Yeah.
And I just strive by that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just strive by that. It takes one second to smile at somebody if you caught their eye. Say good morning. I don't care whether you say hi to me, bye to me, hello, let me catch your eye. I'm going to say something. That's just the type of person I am. But you never know the impact you have on somebody. You never know what somebody is going through. You know what I mean? So it's like people literally, they go, we've seen it. A person went to work that day and the kids recital and all that extra stuff. And, the wife went to sleep and she woke up the next morning and, the father committed suicide. You know what I mean? People don't know. All kinds of women are walking around with postpartum depression. Don't even know that it's that because we're just wired to go, 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 go. You know what I mean? All of these feelings and emotions and things that we go through, if we don't process it, it causes the ailments that we have. You know what I mean? So it's up to us. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, we're the only ones that can save us. And I know that I might not be able to save the whole world, but I know that it's people around me that are watching me and that needs to hear that. They need to know that there's people out there that are genuinely support you without wanting anything in return. You know what I mean? And I'm that person because I know that it's people that looked out for me when I was in need, not even knowing that I was in need. You never know sometimes. You might even know that you need something or you want something until somebody present it to you. You know what I mean? But, we got to put ourselves out there and just try to be our best selves. So just communicating. I don't know how I feel. That's how I feel. Or I don't know what's wrong with me, babe. It's something different. I want something. Talk. How you gonna grow together if y'all not on the same page? A lot of people be reading different fucking books, let alone the different page. You know what I mean? So it's just fighting for what you want. If that's what you want, fight for that shit. If you don't want to, let that shit go. You know what I mean? Time too short to waste time and to procrastinate. Like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm out here trying to get this bag and live my best life. You with me?
Yeah, I hear that. No, that's amazing. That's what this therapy night rants is, man. Holy shit, this has been a great one. Just you know, real quickly, just in my personal relationship, I have this hiccup and this dilemma where I kind of said it in the beginning. I'll just flat out fucking say it. I'm willing to deal with my baby's mother, all the bullshit, whatever that I think. Apparently, we have a good relationship, whatever. But it's like hot, it's hot and cold and shit.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, fuck. But I can't not I will not be a father that raises my son like under a different roof. Like I'm just that dad. And I asked a lot of people that say, well, like, do you stick around? And, most 90 fucking percent, no, you gotta leave because the kid's gonna see it, and it's the kid's gonna know you're not happy. And it's like, but it's not we're fighting in front of the kids. It's just like me. Like ultimately, just like car, I feel like I want to upgrade. I want to upgrade. I want to upgrade the people around me. I want to upgrade even friends. I want to upgrade myself, right? And so I'm like, fuck, 1 + 1's 2. How can we should be getting? We should have like more shit. We should have a more of a strategy, and then it's kind of backfires on me but that's truly what I want. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, like coming home and then dad, and then what I'm saying, we still have a great time with the family, and I know that just my presence being there is better than it not being there.
Right.
And even when we took our 2-year break, like my son pretty much was still with me every fucking day, like, or we were just still cool, like, hey, like I'm fucking here for my kid, like I still wherever he's at, you don't have to worry about shit. Like if you need, like I'm not that baby dad though, no child support, nothing. I ain't have no judge tell me nothing. This is my little dude, is there, what do you think about that? Like just, that I'm willing to just kind of, hey, and I might, that's the thing. You ain't supposed to know if the other partner's cheating or if they're not, you know what I'm saying? So
right, I believe strongly in that. If you care enough for me to die without knowing you was cheating on me, we locked in, boo. Whatever, I don't care. But
sorry, but just a man who can't leave his fucking kid will not, and I'd rather be like, you know what, babe, through all the bullshit, I'm truly not maybe that satisfied or just happy, whatever. But it's like, you know what, I do see this image of a second, it's fucked up to say, but realistically in 10 years when my son's 18, like your son's getting ready to be, and I just knew a 52-year-old that had his first kid, so I'm like, shit.
Right.
And
I mean, I look at that too. My baby, I'm definitely, my life is definitely about to reset. You know what I mean? Like, especially as a single woman, so I get it. But I think the main thing in what you're saying is, well, not the main thing that in what you're saying, but I think you need to decide whether you're genuinely happy or not. Because that's one of the things, going back to the kids. We think the kids don't know. Them kids know. You know what I mean? You might not be screaming, yelling, beating, on his mom and stuff like that. So it's nothing that drastic, but he can tell if his daddy's happy or not. He know if mommy's happy or not. So it's like, first and foremost, I feel like a lot of people just say like, oh, well, I mentioned this a time or two. You ain't listening, so you obviously don't care. You know what I mean? My therapy is for this type of stuff. You feel me? Like, it's a sounding board. Like, you would have worksheets that literally ask both of y'all what the fuck y'all want. You know what I mean? And we ain't going to discuss that until we get together, or y'all can discuss it alone. And with y'all discussing it, y'all have two sheets, and now y'all have to combine it. You know what I mean? And with you combining those sheets is stuff that's mandatory, is stuff that's flexible, and there's stuff that's absolutely not. You know what I mean? Now, once you clearly know what you expect out of the other, what you need to tick to feed this relationship for me to stay, and you give it a realistic goal. Y'all been together forever. So if you say, especially what you sitting here saying, like, all right, I'll give it 10 years and then I'll just, I'll push the button out or I'll reset. You know what I mean? Give it a year. Have a serious conversation. Look, I want more excitement. I want this out of you. What can I do to be a better man for you? This is what I think that you could do to be a better woman for me. And this is not nothing being condescending. It's not telling nobody that they could do better or they not doing better. It's telling your loved one how you would like to be loved.
Yeah.
Once I just told you how I would like to be loved, and we sit here for a year working on this, and we done revisited it. You feel me? And you've done nothing to feed into that, then that's all the answer that you need at that point. Because I also feel, just like I was saying before, if a woman is truly safe, feels protected, feels taken care of, feels like she could be vulnerable, there is nothing she won't do for her man.
Yeah. Well,
Period.
see, that's the unique position I'm in, because women love way harder than a man. And my girl fucking literally has done everything for me. She keeps insisting, like, and she's like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, you're my soulmate. Like, I don't get, that's why, she's just like, she's my ride or die, right? And there's a little bit of entitlement. Like, there's almost like and I always tell, like, well, like, you're supposed to be, babe. Like, if it's not you, like, right. I'm supposed to have that. But at the other side, I don't know what it is. I want to go back to something you said a minute ago. You would almost be interested in two men. Is it, one for the physical, one for the, to hit?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a balance, especially when a woman comes around like me, where it's like a balance of both. You know what I mean? Feminine, masculine energy. Like, at the end of the day, I don't need you for nothing but anything physical if I wanted to say that. You know what I mean? Like, so, a lot of guys are intimidated, or they just straight up completely lack at least one thing that's major to me. You know what I mean? So I feel as though, since I'm intense, or can be seen as intense and boisterous and open-minded and aggressive at times and stuff like that, if there were two men, it's like, all right, look, he burnt out for the day. He ain't in the mood. I still got Beto. You know what I mean? And I laugh and I joke about it, but to me, this is something that men discuss all the time. You know what I mean? Yet we don't have enough money or dick to even have two women. You know what I mean? I know that I could spread myself amongst two men. Now, I said all that to say, would I actually be down for it if it actually was presented in my face? I don't know. I'm just saying, just looking at my age, where society is, the type of woman that I am, new age, whatever the case may be, just being open to all of the things that women were shunned about at one point. You know what I mean? There's plenty of women out there that got two men, baby, and they happy. And you know what I mean? And they going about their business. So would I actually have enough balls to do it? I don't know. But if it's something that I was interested in, then why not? You know what I mean? Like, I go to the parties, I might just look and, stuff like that. I'm not physically in it. You know what I mean? I've dated polygamous men, just to pick their brain and all that. They're really nice. They're really open with, as far as their sexuality, all that shit is out there. It's out there. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, because ain't no shame. But it's really a movement. And again, it's the structure. You know what I mean? All that stuff. It's not just a guy saying that's what he wants and that's it. He has to be able to take care of two women, just like I would have to take care of two men. And that's additional responsibility for me and all the extra shit. So who knows? But it's like, with being single for so long, it's like I want some damn excitement. Like, do I want to settle now with an older guy that don't want no kids? Should I go for a younger guy that still got to be molded? Or should I deal with a guy that's my age that's emotionally unavailable? So I feel like, as a Black woman, middle aged, that has one child that's a teenager, like my options are becoming shorter and shorter. And I feel like if I'm going to go out, baby, I'm going to go out with a fucking bang. You feel me? So it's just like that. Just living your truth. Try it out. You got to give it the benefit of the doubt beforehand. You have to try it out and give it an actual shot. Look, this is what I want. This is what I expect. What you want, what you expect. After that, and the everything is on the table, it's up to you guys to pick up what it is that you want and apply it to each other. You know what I mean? After that, then you know what you have to do, because at least there's no regrets. You try, you did your due diligence, and that's what I'm big on. I'll try, but once I tried, that ain't work. I did my due diligence. You know what I mean? But that might be why I'm single now. But typically, if you care for one another, you love love one another, especially if like y'all soulmates or whatever, twin flames, all that extra stuff. If you genuinely love each other, you're typically going to do what your loved one would like. You know what I mean? Because you love them, so it's not a hassle. You're doing it because that's their love language. That's what they enjoy. So if you know she like flowers and words of affirmation, what's the big deal with saying, "Hey, babe, thank you for everything that you did today. Like, you looking good." You know what I mean? Slap her ass real quick. You know what I mean? Buy a little dress you think she like. Like, women are very simple. We're not that complicated. You know what I mean? So, it all boils down to what you want. I feel as though if you want it and that's what you want, you have to give it a good fighting chance and use all of your resources before you just throw in the towel.
Makes sense. Yeah, I got pretty much everything I want. Just when I get in my head, it's like, there's just maybe it's a libido thing too. I'm still young, like I got fucking sex drive. Like I'm 18 still. I'm just like, there's that whole thing. But the older I get, man, it's like, I definitely one thing I don't want to do. I said like second family and stuff, but I'm like once I have my son, like back in the old days, like that is your woman. I feel like I don't want to die with 2 or 3 women like at my bed. I don't want to leave the world with like, if I'm going to spread my seed, I would rather just, I'm that kind of guy. I don't want a whole messy backdrop as
right. But you also have to think about it. You're talking about 10 years when your kid will be 18. Are you okay with restarting that clock? You feel me? Because if that's not an option, then you have to think about other options. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not necessarily a horrible thing if let's say you had 2 partners, you know what I mean? But your first kid was 18 and your other kid was 3. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we at the age right now. I know you got friends that got grown ass kids and literally like toddlers. Like you know what I mean? It's just something about this time, so it's just like deciding, and that's a huge, like, would you have another child with this person? If you can see yourself having another child with this person and being okay, at peace, not feeling like something's missing or that you want to step out and all that extra shit. Not saying that people don't fall out of love, because that's another thing that people forget. People think like, oh, I'm in love. No, people don't stay in love. You fall out of love. It's your job to fall back in. You know what I mean? So it's an on and off thing. It's like double dutch. It's either going, let the rope keep moving while you moving your legs, or you decide that you don't want to play no more. You know what I mean? But if it's somebody you can see like, yeah, I'll do this all over with again, then, rock out. I would honestly, I always say I'm testing people, but it's a test from the emergency broadcasting system. You know what I mean? If my man sit here and tell me that he likes to be cuddled every night before he go to bed for 15 minutes and then get off of him, and he had a long day and and he taking care of the home or whatever like that, and I can't cuddle him for 15 minutes so he not off, at least sometimes, then I obviously don't care what he cares for, what his love language is, how he needs me to pull through for him. You know what I mean? So it's just knowing what the other person needs intimately and how to satisfy that. So if that means you need it a couple times a week, then say that shit. You don't care what days. You don't want to put specifics. I need it Monday, Wednesday. Nah, a couple days a week, babe. I need you to You know what I mean? If that means giving her a couple dollars, go pick out some lingerie or making her feel good so she want to do it. If that means maybe paying for a housekeeper to come through to clean up, or maybe ordering out that night so the kids could go to bed early, or maybe getting the kids out the house so y'all can run around naked. You know what I mean? It's about making it exciting. I like to look at it like, you know what I mean? Like my life is a reality show, a documentary, a horror movie, and a suspense thriller. Because you never know what you're going to get. You feel me? We gonna rock out. We gonna go through all the notions, but I'm gonna be authentically myself. So if that means that I'm gonna be silly today, we about to be silly as hell. If that means I want to cook for you butt naked with just my, apron on, then that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? But you never know with me because that's just the person that I am. But sometimes we get so used to dealing with someone, we think like, okay, well, that's what they like, that's what they want. You know what I mean? I'm going to leave it like that. When we make our own rules now. You feel me? Like you do what you want to do. It ain't about society no more. It's about whatever life y'all want to leave. And that's all that matters. Like I want to be rocking in a chair, talk about somehow me talking to grandkids. Like, oh, me and your granddaddy, we hopped out the airplane naked, and we was in St. Kitts on the cruise, and we lived out there for 3 months. Like that's what life is to me. Those experiences. You feel me? With somebody that I still want to fuck with, even when I can't fuck them.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like that's what a bestie is. Like that's what an ace boon coon is. You know what I mean? And that's what I strive for. But again, people say I'm a delirious optimist because I'm single and I want what everybody else wants that's in a relationship while everybody in a relationship is telling me to stay single. So
Well, that person you just described, I guess I have parts of that, and there's one that got away, and maybe I used to always say, even when you're 45, I'm still gonna want to eat that monkey. So I don't know. Hopefully, no. But yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Tone motivates. Tanya Franklin. I would love to keep this going, but I'm gonna wrap this up here just because I do got daddy duties. This has been an excellent therapy night on the pub. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a professional licensed clinical therapist, life coach, motivational speaker, what was it, life guru,
wellness coach, cognitive behavior therapist. Get what you want out of life. It all starts with you.
That is amazing. I would like you to come back on, frequently, come through. I do these every Thursday, but I like when I have a guest to really highlight and then integrate into the Hide Pub, because we covered a lot of topics to where these are things that we cover on the show all the time, and so having a good professional opinion and a different opinion. And hello to my girlfriend as we speak. Sorry, babe. She'll always be
hey,
like,
girlfriend.
you be putting man, too much business. I'm like, nah, not really. Ain't nobody know nothing. Ain't nobody know nothing. And it's all for a good show. But one question I always ask all the guests is, did you have a good time at the Hide Pub tonight?
I did. I really, really enjoyed myself, and honestly, just felt like a regular conversation I'm having with a friend having a drink. So I love the vibes.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Those are the vibes I want to bring. Again, I just that's what it is. Conversation. I don't write no fucking questions down and all that shit. But thank you so much for your wisdom and your wealth of knowledge. And I usually always go back, listen to the shows. I'm gonna be like, oh, dude, you suck. You should have asked her about this, and you should have said this when she said that. But we'll do it again.
We'll do that. Write it down, and then we'll cover it on the next show.
Absolutely. ToneMotivates.com. Go check her out, and you can catch her. And you also do your own podcast, and that's over on Buzzsprout.
Yes, but it's also available on most podcasting platforms as well. So you could just look up Shades of Tone.
Shades of Tone. All right. And I know it's getting late over there on the East Coast. You get some good sleep, and thank you so much. And we'll try to keep the positive vibes going over here until next time.
Yes.
All right. Tone motivates everyone. All right. Yo. Excellent show. You know, I hate to do these shorter shows. I love the 3 to 4 hour shows, but I do have duties to do. And, I promised my family I'll only do a 2 hour show tonight because, I gotta go be a dad and handle stuff. And it's 10. We put in a great show. Shout out to Beeline in the chat, Brother Ray, and my baby, J Boo on the check-in. And then over on Podbean, we had Linda, Chris, the Rats Putin motherfucker again, So Rap, I Can't Believe a Listener, that's his actual name, and then some other bots up in the chat there. So it was a good night. Excellent night. And I got some good questions out of the way. I think, like always, if you were a loved one, if you know of a loved one who's struggling with drug addiction, sex addiction, anything else, call 1-800-662-HELP. That is 1-800-662-HELP. That is a national drug addiction hotline. They're there 24 hours a day. If you need a little something, you know what I mean? If things are getting out of control. I had to do it one time. It was cool. And then I was like, all right, what the fuck am I doing? All right, I'm just going to drink a glass of milk and go to sleep. That's all you can do when you're like that. So that's what that is. This has been episode 86. 86 weeks in a row. We got to do it to him. Yes. Next week, episode 87. You never know what you're going to get here in the Hyder Pub. We'll be back. If you just can't wait, though, you can catch us Saturday night and Sunday night on WDJYFM.com. 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. The Hyder Pub live over there, baby. Reno, take us out. Everybody have a good night, man. See y'all next week for episode 87. That's right. Salute. Harry's drinking again. Yo. You have been listening to the Harris is Drinking Again pubcast. For more, go to YouTube, type in @HyderPubcast. Look us up on Spotify, any and all streaming platforms. Harris is Drinking Again pubcast. Thank you.